And Dave, let's move on into our second topic. Before we do, though, make sure to go on Apple Podcasts and rate and review the Primetime Podcast. Every 5-star rating helps us get into the ears of more people. So please go ahead, rate and review the Primetime Podcast, because guess what?
What?
We're not a couple of good old boys like our first ever review said, because, Dave, we're not even talking about the SEC. So I don't know how we could be a couple of good old boys. That is legit a review for the Primetime Podcast.
That's a Brandon thing.
Exactly. And me and Brandon would make fun of it at nauseum when he was on the show. But we're talking college basketball and NBA draft for this. Really NBA draft, but college basketball because they're college kids until they get drafted.
Damn right.
And today we are taking a look at Darius Garland and Coby White and really the whole point guard situation here at the top of the draft, because at the Combine, first it was Darius Garland. Got a promise and said, well, deuces, I'm going to leave. I don't have to do anything. I got a promise, so I'm going to be taken in the high lottery. Then right after, Coby White did the same thing, said, oh, if he got a promise, I got one too. Deuces, I'm going to leave as well. So the thing we're going to start with first.
Can you say deuces like one more time?
Deuces.
Okay, there we go. Sean, that one's for you.
Dave, this one's even better. I'm Audi 5000. But basically, we're going to talk about who do you think gave the promises. We'll start with Darius Garland because he got the first promise. Is it the Lakers? Did the Lakers give him the promise? Are we all correct that Clutch Sports going to play with LeBron and he will be a Laker?
Will
Sean be right? Will Sean be right?
The thunder of that. Dave,
thunder.
who do you think gave the promise?
Thunder.
Was it the Lakers? I don't know, Ricky. Was it the Lakers?
Well, that's what everyone.
Was it the Lakers?
That's what everyone thinks.
It was the Lakers, probably. In all likelihood, it's your three teams.
Mm-hmm.
Three teams at the top of this draft could use someone like Garland, and that would be the Lakers, the Suns, or the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers have the first pick out of that grouping, and like you said, the connection with Clutch Sports, LeBron James. It seems like it is inevitable at this point in time. And the interesting thing out of this is, is he going to be the Lakers player, or is he going to be on the Pelicans, perhaps? Either way, I'm intrigued because him going to the Lakers means what happens to Lonzo Ball? You got an extra guy over there that the Bulls could poke at? But no, I think that his fit on the Lakers makes the most sense out of this. We looked at his upside coming into this year, and he is an incredibly gifted offensive player. He's able to create shots for himself. He can catch it off the ball, take shots. He can catch off, or he can go off the dribble. Just a gifted shooter. And the thing that we unfortunately didn't get to see throughout the season was how would he be able to work as a facilitator? His assist to turnover ratio in those few short games was negative, and that is definitely a red mark on his recruiting bill. But at the same time, I look at it and I go, look, man, you're here to make buckets. You can play more of a shooting guard type role at the NBA level, even though you're a point guard on this team, but playing off of LeBron, I could see that happen fairly easily. He wants knockdown shooters. You could be that knockdown shooter on the outside helping him.
I'll be honest. I don't want it to be the Lakers because
But it adds up.
Well, and here's the thing where I feel like as I'm thinking of this as a Bulls fan, I will be completely honest. I feel like, yes, the Lakers were the ones to promise Darius Garland, and the reason why I think they were the ones to give that promise is because everything that you just talked about, and I know with Darius Garland was a small sample size, but I kind of have that feeling that can Darius Garland do the same things that Kyrie Irving did while LeBron was on Cleveland with him? And when I look it up, Darius Garland in his 5 games this season shot 53% from the field, 47% from 3, 75% from the foul line, was almost 4 rebounds to 16 points, 2 assists a game. Kyrie Irving, when he was in college, shot 52% from the field, similar, 46% from 3, so around the same mark, except shot 90% from the foul line.
Yeah, incredible.
Kyrie was really good from the foul line, and he averaged 17 points per game, averaged 3.4 rebounds, except his assists were a little bit higher.
How many attempts at 3 was he taking a game?
He was taking about 3.5 per game and hitting just over 1.5, 1.6.
And how many games did Kyrie play again?
Kyrie played 11 games.
Yeah.
In college.
Pretty comparable.
11 games, started 8 of them. Was the number 1 pick too.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick in that draft. So like that's part of it of like why I think the Lakers promised Darius Garland is because LeBron might see that, or because let's be honest, he's probably talking to Rob Pelinka, talking to Jeannie Buss.
Likely.
And saying, hey, if we're not going to get Kyrie,
next best thing.
This is the next best thing. And like if the Lakers did promise Darius Garland, that is to me clarifying and basically proving what Stephen A. Smith heard of basically like, hey, shut this shit down. Kyrie is not going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Get the people to stop talking about it. If the Lakers promise Garland, then that to me is true.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. So I feel like I'm like 85% confident that Darius Garland goes Lakers and that Sean knew it just a split second before all of us. Which
that Nostradamus, Sean.
Yeah, it just irks me a little. But
that he was right on it?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
So does that mean obviously Coby White? Half the time I say it correctly, I still think I'm putting that L in there.
Coby.
Coby White.
Yeah.
Is it then a foregone conclusion that he's a Sun?
It's hard to see the Suns passing up on him. The only thing that could happen is if the Bulls try to take a stab above and trade up with the Cavaliers to get a shot at that pick, which I don't know if the value is worth it there. I'm not feeling to bunny hop them.
Yeah, I don't think the Bulls are like I've seen articles where people are like, yeah, these are the options that if the Bulls trade up, this is what we get. I think the reason why I'm thinking the Sun, like that Darius Garland is going to be a Laker, Coby White is going to be a Sun, is because the more and more I'm seeing about the Bulls when it comes to draft is I'm seeing two things. I'm seeing who we can select at 7, like Paxton right after the lottery was like, hey, we're gonna get our guy at 7, which I kind of bought into because the last few drafts we haven't had the pick that we wanted to.
Yeah.
But we've gotten good players at like last year, Wendell Carter, we got him at 7, exactly where we are this year. So it's like if the Bulls scouting, if we scout well, we've done a
decent job. We're I don't think we're the worst in the league.
It's kind of like Gar Forman is a pretty good scouter.
He could be. Could be okay at it.
I mean, all that time at John Morant's games is now useless because he ain't going to be on the Bulls.
Way to win games, guys. Way to win games.
Yeah, totally way to win games. We could have been the 5th seed. We could have been the 5th pick and been the Cavaliers who had the 14% chance.
Just think about it. The Grizzlies were, one pick behind us, right?
Yeah.
That's all it took. If we could have won like one more game, a couple more games. Remember, because last year it was the Kings who swapped up and we lost the coin flip with the Kings. So that could have been the Bulls, who were number 2 last year.
No, I think the Grizzlies were 2 behind us.
2 behind us? Okay.
Because I think it was us, Atlanta, Washington, and then Memphis.
All right, fair enough.
Because Memphis was on that verge of almost losing the pick
they were
to Boston.
That's correct. They were at 8. But yeah, no, remember the Bulls. I'm sorry, I was a mini Bulls fan, right? But we lost, we won the coin flip to get the position ahead of the Kings, in which point they won the lottery by going to number 2 because of that positioning. So that just irks me because that could have been a Luka Doncic in Chicago.
Yes, we totally won the lottery and we lost the lottery.
Yeah, we won.
But really it didn't matter because this year in the lottery it totally proved that the NBA is rigged and especially the lottery is rigged. So it didn't matter who won the coin toss. We still could have got the pick if the NBA wanted us to. The thing that I sit here yet again, like I'm saying, my red goggles are on.
Yep.
Part of me almost is happy that Darius Garland and Coby White are going to be Suns and Lakers.
Why is that?
The reason why is I don't think, me personally, I was not sold on Darius Garland. I know it's mainly because of the small sample size, and plus, I don't think his game fits with Zach.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. In LA, it can fit if they're moving on from Lonzo. If they're moving some of those pieces, it fits very nicely next to LeBron. Maybe to get an Anthony Davis, which you can check out. We talked about that on the fast break. Shameless plug. Then Coby White. I know there was numerous people that were like, Coby White's our guy. The Bulls got to get him. I slotted him in at the mock draft when I wasn't even totally convinced on it. When We did the lottery mock right after the lottery was announced, and I'm kind of glad he's going to the Suns because I don't think he is a for sure fit when it comes to the... Basically, I don't think he's a fit at the point guard for us being that combo guard. I think he could work a lot better in Phoenix with Devin Booker, if that makes any sense.
Devin Booker's just a better version of Zach LaVine, so
and that's why
I need some more something out of you, sir.
For me, I feel like with the Bulls, and maybe this is just me being biased, is the two options I want to happen are either we trade for Lonzo Ball, or we sign a guy like Pat Bev, or we sign a guy like D Rose, and we go out and draft a wing, basically a Cam Reddish, a Jarrett Culver, a DeAndre Hunter, whoever falls to us there, because with Garland going at 4, with Coby White going at 6, one of those wings, like Cleveland could only take one of them. One of those, or two of those wings really are going to fall to us.
It's likely they're going to go with Jarrett Culver, but I wouldn't rule Cam Reddish out. So with the Bulls having the option of Jarrett or Cam or even DeAndre Hunter.
Who would you hope they take as a Bulls fan?
Oh, if I'm rooting for them to take the worst player of that group?
Or just the player that you want them to... Who's the player you want on the board for the Bulls?
I'll just answer honestly. I've mocked Jarrett Culver there in the past going to the Cavs, so I would believe that the Bulls would have a chance at Cam Reddish.
Okay. And I'm glad you brought that up because... The tweet I was going to bring up, this was from just a random tweet I saw on my timeline at TMac_no-jumper. Shameless plug for you. He said, okay, if we keep the 7th pick and you got Coby and Cam both available, I'm going with Cam, man. Coby's not any more of an actual point guard than Zach is to me. Cam feels more risky than Coby, but man, Cam can be some more special in the league. I ain't gonna lie, this draft shit though, where I quoted that and I said I wouldn't be mad if they picked Cam over Coby. I have a feeling that some wing will fall to us after Garland and Coby got combine promises from both the teams. I would like Cam Reddish only because I'm not quite I either want Cam Reddish or trade for Lonzo Ball. But kind of moving away from Bulls because I feel like we're naturally the magnet is pulling us there. I'll ask you this because we haven't hit this on the nose yet. With Darius Garland, with Coby White, whichever one you want to start with first, how do you think their fit is? What do you look at with their fit if Coby White's a Sun and Darius Garland is a Laker?
Garland's easy fit. He walks on that team and instantly becomes one of their better shooters on that team. They need to fill out that generally, actually, 4 other positions around LeBron James to suit him, and they need guys who can catch and shoot. They need guys who can create for themselves if need be, and I believe Garland does both of those things. Defensively, he's not bringing much to the table, but offense is what you're looking at here, and there's not another guy who I would, bet against shot for shot in this draft class probably. Darius Garland just got the ability to create instant offense. So I would lean, I know Carson Edwards, whatever. I'm different class of completely different class. So
exactly.
I just look at that and I go, all right, he walks on to that Lakers team, and whether he is starting, whether he is a guy coming off the bench, he's going to be able to work his way into that rotation pretty quickly because a lot of their young talent right now, I mean, you look at Josh Hart, when he shot uncharacteristically high from 3 and then he came back to earth. There was an injury in there as well, but he is not an excellent 3-point shooter. Kyle Kuzma, not an excellent 3-point shooter. He took volume, but that doesn't make him good. Brandon Ingram, not an excellent 3-point shooter. Lonzo Ball was their only guy, and he's not even a good...
He just has a janky shot.
But he's still not percentage-wise a good 3-point shooter. So they just, all of their young talent aren't great shooters. So you go in and you just get one of the best shooters in this draft, especially from distance. I think that is ideal fit right there for them, assuming he stays on that Lakers team.
And for me, the only thing to me that affects the Garland fit is whether or not they can trade for Anthony Davis. Because for me, the thing is, the first question that I was going to kind of retort at you, and I'll answer it myself, is basically all right, Garland comes in. is he automatically the starter? Which I would say yes. Like Lonzo, maybe at the beginning Lonzo was the starter.
Healthy?
But, well, and that too. But I think towards the end, Garland, okay, I am now the starter. And then I was like, well, can you have Lonzo be the backup point guard? I don't think you can. I think that not necessarily the ego with Lonzo, but maybe a little bit of the ego with Lonzo. He wants to be a starter. There's no way LeVar Ball is going to let Lonzo ride the pine behind a newly drafted rookie to where he'll just start shit and basically kind of
try them both together.
Exactly. But I mean, there's part of me too that's like, can Lonzo come off the bench, run the second unit, and have Garland out there? And you can also play them together if you want to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because to
Lonzo
me, I
can cover up defensively for him, and he's one of the best facilitators.
True.
He's a great defender.
Good point. No,
like Lonzo absolutely is.
I stand corrected. For me, I'm mainly I was on the track of like the running.
Because then
your
starting lineup is what? Lonzo, Garland,
LeBron.
Well, I'd say Brandon Ingram, LeBron.
Okay.
And then insert center here, or you run LeBron as your big and you squeeze Kuz in there. I like Kuz in the second unit, though. I think he provides great scoring and ability to keep that unit going. But you can switch out BI for him. I mean, it's all about balance of shooting out there. And because BI's outside shot is rare, not horrible, just rare that he will take threes, that's one down. Lonzo will at least he'll shoot the threes, whether they go in or not his problem. Darius Garland will shoot threes.
The Lakers' problem.
And the Lakers, depending on who they land at the 5, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a fine lineup because you have great defense with Lonzo, BI, and LeBron James out there, and you have great shooting with you have at least 3-point shooters, willing guys out there to match as well. So I don't think it's an instant controversy. Do I think that they need to move Lonzo? No. Do I think that if they want to go for the Anthony Davis all-in trade, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Coby White? I'll ask you this question. Why do you think the Suns promised Coby White? Is it just because the biggest need is point guard? Is it mainly that of like, hey, we thought we were going to be in prime position to get a Ja Morant? We're not. Oh, shit. We're not even in the prime position now to get the second point guard off the board.
Yeah. No, it's desperation. I mean, you can come out and say we like the guy more than everybody else. I don't give a shit what it is. It's desperation.
Yeah.
You need a point guard more than anybody else, and guess what? The odds weren't in your favor. Sorry, you did not get the number 2 pick. You do not get Ja Morant. You do not get to pass go. Like, that's just what it is, Suns fans.
Thank you, Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
That was on TV this weekend.
Nice.
Both of them.
Nice.
Right before Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's how you want to lead into Game of Thrones. That's quality. Regardless, Suns fans, it's not like he's a bad player. Coby White got okay size. He's large, just doesn't have a great wingspan. I think that his shot is going to be interesting at the NBA level. I think as a facilitator, I'm not sure how much he can help carry that load with Devin Booker. I think Booker progressed so much better than I expected him to last year as a facilitator, but also I think having Coby White there will help draw attention off of him, so that way he doesn't have the super solid focus, and he can have some of those catch and shoot opportunities like he had in the past, where he shoots a much better percentage than he does coming off the dribble and trying to facilitate or trying to create for himself all the time. It's just a matter of percentages at that point. So Coby White, I think he's a decent combo guard. I don't know that he is a good enough defender to kind of balance out Devin Booker, but he's at least good enough to make it interesting, and he is the best available prospect at that position for them to take right now. The only other thing I could say is if they pass on this and they go in for another a talented wing, they go for a 4 in the mix, and they go real hard in free agency. There are guys in free agency. We talked about Terry Rozier. I think Pat Bev would be amazing for them. Darren Collinson, another veteran. You can go get some veterans. You could trade for Conley. You have the amount of talent and picks in the future to do that if you want to do that. I think you could do a lot of those things, and maybe if you're not in love with Coby White,
you could trade for Alonzo Ball if you want to. Why, just because the Bulls are in that discussion, why shouldn't the Suns?
Maybe the Bulls are the ones who promised Coby White.
I'll ask you that. Is that true? Like, do you think that's true of like, yes, we're thinking it's the Lakers or Suns.
Well,
is it that the Bulls were really the team that's like, hey, we're going to promise you that? And Coby White's like, fine, because if it's not you, I'm getting taken the team before you, so I'm going 6 or 7. Bye.
Doesn't even matter. There's a chance. There absolutely is a chance. I don't know that you mentioned you don't like him with his fit next to Zach LaVine in that offense, and I say, what's the difference? Devin Booker's just a better version of Zach LaVine, less athletic, but better shooter.
I just feel like, for me, the guys I am ranking, the Suns might be in the same boat as this. The guy I want next to Zach is more of that, like, I want a defensive point guard.
If Chris Dunn could shoot threes.
Basically, yes, thank you. Like, Lonzo Ball can do that. Can shoot threes better than Chris Dunn and can play defense. Pat Bev.
Can he?
I think so.
Percentage-wise, has he?
I think working with the man, Jim Boylan. Jim Boylan going to get those threes out of him because Luke Walton couldn't. Luke Walton didn't know how to teach the three, man. I mean, Steph Curry didn't have to do anything. Steph Curry just knew how to shoot them. I'm joking, obviously.
Lonzo Ball shot 32.9% from three last year.
What about Chris Dunn?
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
On 5 attempts a game. Okay. And his rookie year.
You said 32%?
His rookie year, he shot 30%.
Okay.
So that's a 3-point threat, out there. Not quite convinced. Chris Dunn shot... Come on, Basketball Reference. 35.4% from three on 2.1 attempts. Less volume, much better percentage. Ricky, what is that? Is this just perception fucking with you here right now?
Yeah.
Because remember Lonzo Ball in college could shoot threes.
Yeah, 41% in college on 5.5 attempts.
Yeah, but look at Chris Dunn in college.
Chris Dunn in college.
Playing for Providence.
As an older player, too. Because Lonzo was a 1 and
shot 35.4.
Okay, so
his senior year he shot 37 though.
Chris Dunn though is kind of like he's still in the 30s. Where Lonzo, it's the big thing of like, how are you shooting 41? And I get it, like the defense is better in the NBA
by a lot.
I still think with Lonzo, the thing is just fix the shot. Fix the shot and it'll go up because I think that's the main thing. And I know it's easier said than done. Yeah, I get that.
Fix broken. I mean.
Like basically,
you're afraid that if you try to play with it too much, you will break his shot worse.
Exactly.
I honestly think that's it's I know it's not pretty. It goes in sometimes. If he has confidence there, maybe it'll get better. I would be afraid of a full-on retool by the shot doc Drew Hanlon.
The guy that and this is another reason why I'm not concerned if, let's say, the Suns, and really like the Suns could be in the same boat.
Yeah.
Is why. Especially for the Bulls, I may take one of those wings at 7 and not look at point guard. Like, if it's a DeAndre Hunter, if it's a Cam Reddish, like, take one of those guys because at our pick at 38, even with the Suns with the 32nd pick, you might not get a starting point guard, but you can get a guy that maybe you develop into.
Well, they do have two guards they've taken last year, and Eli Okubo and DeAnthony Melton.
You were really high on Melton.
I was high on both of them. DeAnthony Melton, college player who didn't get to play in college too much because of the NCAA.
I think it's is it a USC
It's
issue?
a USC thing. It might be a USC thing.
I mean, Kevin Porter, same
good
thing.
defense. No, Kevin Porter fucked up himself.
Thing. Yeah,
he's an idiot.
Team rules with Kevin Porter.
So DeAnthony Melton, good defensive player. Definitely showed on the court on the on-off numbers when he and Kelly Oubre were out there together. That team was actually respectable to some percentage. They were actually respectable on defense, and the numbers showed pretty clearly their impact. So I like him as a defender. Eli Okubo, good shooter. I think the kid needs some confidence. He's just young. He needs time to adjust and continue playing in the U.S. So I'm not terrified if those are my two guys, but you got to look at the timeline, and you're going, Devin Booker's on this contract. Now we got to make shit actually happen. And I wonder if they go and try to swindle, a Pat Bev over to their team. Because he's like the gold standard, I think, for a team like the Suns right now.
Do you think that it's a foregone conclusion Pat Bev is not going to be in LA with the Clippers next year?
No, I think Pat Bev, what reason does he have to leave? I mean, he is getting the limelight. He is going to be playing on a team with potentially Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Like, the talent wants to come to you. You're already on a team that took the fucking Warriors.
So you're saying he shouldn't leave for a Bulls or a Suns that might throw him more money?
I would not, but I'm not Pat Bev, you know? I would stay and play with that team.
I mean, asking if you were, and you
they've got a
unique
crew on that team with Lou Will taking the lower than expected contract. Trez taking, that $8 million a year deal, looking like a steal right now. I think that their team has got depth and they've got enough fluidity of free agents, guys under temp contracts, and draft picks, and guys who want to be in LA. Like, it's the place to be. It's the right situation for them. So if he wants to cash out, this is likely his last big payday. Fine. I'm not going to blame him ever for that. But if you want to try to win a championship, I'm looking to stay.
And like, I'm looking at the Suns right now. You say timeline. It's Devin Booker's under contract, obviously the longest. TJ.
What's his value though? Like, doesn't it go?
It goes. So he's $3.3 million this year.
Yeah.
27.2 next year.
Yeah.
And then it's 27, 29, 31, 33.
Exactly.
Over those 4
years.
Which
here in the dollars.
Yeah. And then TJ Warren, he's up in 2022. But like the other guys, like Josh Jackson, 2021. Mikal Bridges, obviously 2022 is when they become RFAs. But like DeAnthony Melton, after next year, he's an RFA. So it's like
second round time.
It's the decision of at that point of like, obviously he's not going to be like a Terry Rozier kind of guy where it's like, hey, I'm going to throw money at DeAnthony Melton so that the Suns have to pay up, because if you did that, the Suns would say, all right, you're stuck with him.
Yeah, he's not good enough. He hasn't warranted that yet, I should say.
And then Eli Okubo is up. Obviously, 2022 is the big year.
Well, that's sort of several years from now, so yes, contracts line up.
Like in that one, they've got Bridges, Warren, Okubo, Ayton.
Yep.
All of those contracts are up that year.
That's because they drafted them all in the same year.
Exactly.
Is that a mystery?
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
Did
you stumble on something there, Ricky?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's the that's the thing with the Suns. It kind of goes back. I was thinking what you said in our disappointing teams that we talked about with Jake, where you were one of the ones, I'll say, to have the balls to say, no, the Suns had a disappointing season because of how bad they were. And I kind of like, I'm on the fence with, is Coby, because Darius Garland, I even have the same question about, like when you were talking about Darius Garland, do either of these guys, Garland on the Lakers, as is, without Anthony Davis. So Garland on the Lakers, Coby White on the Suns, do they make these teams drastically different? Like for the Lakers, does it make them a playoff team? Does it make them a team that fights for the play? Because I mean, like Magic Johnson said today on First Take, in and out of all his, hey, I got to clear my brand thing. Yeah. He did mention how, because they asked him about the whole trade thing and like what that relationship was like with Lonzo, B.I., and Kuz. And he said that he went to them and said, hey, sometimes, like, you got to understand, in
Put
your
big
career,
boy pants on.
Basically, like he said, in your career, when you're good, you might be thrown around in trade discussions. Like, don't worry about it. Just play your game. Don't take it personal. Right. And then he immediately said, they took it personal. And it's like, that's what happened. And he goes, but he's like, there was a stretch, like when they played, he's like, they were like 3 games behind Golden State, and they recently played Golden State. He goes, we were playing really good basketball. B.I. was playing amazing. And it's like, part of me feels like if the Lakers could get that consistently and add in a Darius Garland, hell yeah, they could be a playoff team with LeBron.
No, absolutely.
But can they get that consistency from their young guys with Darius Garland and a healthy LeBron? And then with Coby White, it's like, I'm not sure that just adding Coby White to the Suns team makes them drastically better than they are right now. Because, I mean, we added Ayton last year, and we thought Ayton would add them wins. And yet again, they're right back to being the last place team in the West.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Darius Garland makes a bigger difference for LA than Coby White would for the Suns. And it almost has me scratching my head going, okay, like maybe I'm missing out on something with Coby White. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch tape of him at UNC, but I don't know that he moves the needle for me. I just don't know that he does that, and especially on that, the biggest thing with the Suns might just be the coaching. Like the talent might be there already.
Now
it's
they
just
got
you don't.
Monty Williams coming in.
Yeah, and I thought that
Igor.
I thought Igor wasn't a bad coach. I still don't know that he's.
Didn't you call for him to get fired?
I don't know what I've said this past. I've said a lot of things, Ricky. I'm not the one on trial here. This whole damn court's out of order.
Order in the court.
This whole damn court's out of order. I thought Euro was a decent coach. I don't know if I still stand there after watching the season. Maybe it's just the dysfunction of the front office. But the product they put out on the court did not make me believe that he was capable of coaching a team, but at the same time, they didn't give him a NBA-level point guard to play with in a system where he works with point guards.
I'm going to do a little role-playing here. Igor to James Jones. Hey, man, it would be really cool if you drafted this Luka guy. I really like him, and he'd fit our offense. All right, I'll take that into consideration, coach.
Yeah.
And that's basically, like, all. It's like, we're going to go with DeAndre Ayton. It's like,
yeah. You missed out.
He doesn't fit not that he doesn't fit, but it's like Luka would have fit so much better.
Can you imagine Luka playing with Dev, playing with TJ Warren, playing with
I will say this.
Yep.
If Luka would have went to the Suns and not DeAndre Ayton, what we saw from the Mavs this year would have been the Suns. Like flipping.
I think the Suns would have been not a playoff team, but they would have been in that probably 9, 10, 11 range that was all pretty tight in the West. They wouldn't have been last in the West. Let's put it that way. They would not have been last in the West.
So the Mavericks finished just above the Suns at 33 and 49.
After abandoning their 4 out of their 5 starters throughout the season.
New Orleans and Memphis also finished 33 and 49, with Minnesota being 36 and 46. So it was all close within like the Lakers to the Mavericks, which were 5 teams. The Suns would have been in that race and not sitting 19 and 63
easily
if they would have went Luka over DeAndre Ayton. And I know that like our boy Z,
it's not what Suns fans came to hear today.
He likes DeAndre Ayton because the Arizona connection.
Low-key, he's not bad.
Yeah.
But he's also not a game changer because he doesn't have the ball in his hands often enough, which is potentially a problem with the coaching. But point being, ball handlers matter in the NBA.
Well, it kind of goes to a comment we got on our Sixer video of someone said, if you're going to trade either Ben or Joe, you're going to trade Joe because Ben's got the ball in his hands.
He's also got the best availability.
Well, exactly. But I mean, with the big, usually it's the big loses out to the ball handler on the outside. But the thing I will ask you to kind of end this is you first, then me. Give your prediction of what's going to happen with the Lakers, Suns, and Bulls at the draft. What's going to happen, or are the Bulls going to trade it, and who do they trade for?
I'm going to go with the Lakers are indeed taking Darius Garland. Where there's smoke, there's fire there. I think the Cavs will go Jarrett Culver. I think then the Suns are left in the amazing position to take Coby White. And I think the Bulls might be kicking themselves, but at the same time, I think I don't think they trade for Lonzo Ball for the 7th pick. I don't know if that value is there. But I think they end up with a wing, maybe in Cam Reddish, who, a couple years down the line, might not be one of the worst prospects in this draft class.
Dave's like, if he's a Bull, I'm hoping he's not
the
worst in this draft class. I'm going to go similar to you. And the thing I got to look up a fact before I make my Cavs pick. But I will say, same with you, Lakers and Garland, Clutch Sports. It's like, we could either all be wrong or either all be right.
Well, the problem is this is not a tight-lipped organization, and once you hear something come out of them, even if it was just a supposedly this is thing, that's probably what's actually happening, because so far, everything under this organization for the last 2 years has been that.
Which, I'm going to low-key say this right now, because I know I feel on the fast break we're not going to have a Laker discussion about it, because I don't feel Sean is going to want to talk about the Magic Johnson comments.
Probably not.
This week. But I will say this, after hearing Magic Johnson's comments, it kind of sounds like everything that I kind of was saying after Magic Johnson left, of like the organization's biggest problem is Jeannie Buss. Because like kind of what he was saying, where he walked in, the whole Luke Walton thing was interesting, where he said, I wanted to fire Luke Walton. At the beginning, when he got the job, Jeannie Buss said, whatever you want to do, you have the power to do it. And he goes, I walked in, said, I want to fire Luke, nothing against Luke, but this is what I feel like it's best for the team. Jeannie goes, sure, we'll work on that. Then the next day, brought somebody else from the front office in.
Yep.
You know what, we don't feel like we should do that because we really like Luke and we should give him a chance. And he's kind of like, So it was okay, then it was not okay, then it was okay again. Like, too many people in the ears. And that's where I was kind of like, yes, Genie Bus is the problem. The Lakers organization right now. But what I will say is, Garland 4 to the Lakers. I'm going to agree with you. Cavs take Culver because John Beilein knows what Jared Culver can do after losing to Texas Tech in the tournament this past year.
Nice toss. The John Beilein signing for the Cavs.
I really wanted to. I thought they played each other in the tournament. So that's a connection I'm going to use for Jared Culver so that Cam falls to us. Then Coby White goes to the Suns. And then the Bulls, I'm not sure. We give
Chris Dunn another year and free agency.
If we take the pick, we'll go Cam Reddish. But I'm not complete. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
You think the Lonzo Ball thing's on the table?
I would not be surprised if tomorrow the Bulls have traded the number 7 pick to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, so that the Lakers could increase their package
to have 4 and 7,
so they could send it to Anthony Davis. For Anthony Davis. Here, Anthony, you get all the picks. We're going to give it a tribute to you. But that's what I'll say. Garland, Culver, White, and then the Bulls either get Ball or Cam Reddish. But this is where you guys come in. What do you think about the promises? Obviously, we don't know which teams. I wish we did because it would make it a lot easier to talk.
You just said the Bulls promised both guys.
The Bulls were like, we promise you and you. One of you might fall to us.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, they probably could have done that. Been like, look, if there's a chance that you land at 8
last year.
If there's a chance that you land at 8, we're gonna take you. And they said the same thing to both guys. And the both guys are like, dope. Like there's your guarantee. Because you're going to either the Suns or the Bulls. It's fucking like,
oh my God,
60 chess.
They did it before either prospect talked to the Suns or Lakers, so they left before talking to those teams. Genius. What kind of mind games would that be?
That's
from the
Bulls?
Bulls?
Garpax front office right there doing work.
You know what?
We believe.
I want to believe you. I want to believe you that they're that smart, but I can't. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below.